Alright, people, it's about time that we talk about something very, very important, and that is everything that's going down with Denver and everything that's ever been going on with Colorado in general. Well, if you look at things from a strict one directional purpose, let's look at Denver International Airport first, alright? It opened up in 1995, started embracing conspiracy theories left, right, and center. But certain facts that dictate what actually is the fact that it's the fifth busiest airport in all of the United States. But what was most famous about this so-called busiest airport? Well, the most famous thing about this airport was the big blue demonic horse standing right outside of it. Well, it turns out that this was officially termed as a Mustang by the Denver International Airport Public Relations Office, but it has also been nicknamed Blucifer by the rest of the internet. Well, if you put aside the fact that it actually fell on its artist severing an artery and killing him, what we also understand is the fact that this so-called demonic horse has no other purpose except for just looking all kinds of menacing. Now, when they were asked for a statement, Denver International Airport claimed that this horse was designed by the artist. We have nothing to do with it apart from the fact that it exists right outside of our airport. Also, they do agree that by all intents and purposes, the horse could be way more different in its appearance. I mean, if they wanted to signify a Mustang, if you Google image search Mustangs, the first thing that'll pop up is a car. But the next thing, if you search for Mustang horses, none of those horses are going to look anything similar to what that airport has right in front of it. Is there some hidden meaning behind this, or is there not? Well, I don't know, it's up to your perception. You might believe that there is, you might not believe that there is, but the fact of the matter is certainly an odd choice for someone to do that. Also, we have to consider the fact that does it have any real face value, or is it all disinformation campaigns? Are they piling on enough conspiracy theories on the airport itself to disinform anything that might hold actual substance? Well, again, that is all about perception. You can also see that there are certain things on the airport itself that contradict themselves. So, let's for instance consider the fact that there is a plaque at the airport that, is dedicated to the Freemason Society, alright? It says that it mentions the level 33 and all of that jargon that shows that Freemasonry's highest level is 33. And by all intents and purposes, Freemasonry is an actual society. So for those of you that don't understand that, Google it. It actually exists. It's a thing that has been rather prevalent throughout the ages. There's nothing new. But on the contrary, there is also a mention on numerous occasions to the New World Order quotient. Now, some might say that the Freemason Society has indeed created the New World Order. But consider this as well, right? There are certain conspiracy theories out there and certain counter-conspiracy theories out there that clearly dictate the fact that the Freemason Society and the New World Order might just be two different societies on their own, which, as a critical thinker, holds much more ground than just believing the fact that the Freemason Society is the end-all be-all and everything it creates is the end-all be-all. There aren't enough successful people in the world to be fitting into a secret society, and those that are denied entry into the Freemason Society, you can best believe that they wanted to create a society of their own. So the fact of the matter is that the New World Order is a separate standalone society, then the Freemasons is quite credible. If you look at everything in a critical side of view, it is quite credible indeed. Another thing that we have to consider is the fact that Colorado's landscape in general is so intense and so wide with a very little concentrations of people in limited areas, which makes it the most ideal place for ET activity. If there is an ET base, as this person says, and if there is a story in place because ancestors of this individual right here, and I'll let you guys listen to this, ancestors of this person have seen things in this area before things could be manifested by the internet. Alright, nowadays we look at images on the internet that have been heavily manipulated. But when we look at things like this, no.
I never imagined doing this. And now I think, why didn't you do it sooner? I've seen 29. The closest one was between here in the mountains and partway down. I called it cigar shaped. It was narrow, really long, and it went zip like that. It was 11 o'clock at night. We had over a dozen people here. Everybody saw it. I've got a farmer friend, and her grandfather used to talk about the train light that would come through Music Pass over here. There's no trains over in Music Pass. You can't even get there except on horseback. That was from in the 40s. Some say that there's an ET base in Mount Blanca over here. Could be lots of activity over there.
So, getting back to the video that we had to talk about. There was a video in the news about someone, or something rather, being caught on camera outside their house. Well, basically, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to pop that bubble. 90% of all video footage like that, after being run through intense analysis, dictates that that was fabricated footage. Alright, they say that there's something known as a distortion filter that you can, well, basically you can control the amount that distortion filter applies, and also you can control the point of the video where the distortion filter is applied to. So the official statement by debunkers is the fact that this distortion effect was applied right at the base of the person's feet, hence making them look slightly distorted when they were already elongating their feet trying to walk down the driveway. Everything else about the footage is also fabricated, and the reason why it looks like a cartoon character or Dobby from Harry Potter is because it is intentionally meant to look like that. This was a video that was tampered with and manipulated with a very particular agenda in mind, that they would base it out of Colorado, which is already a hotspot. That makes it get even more traction, and apart from that, make it look like a very famous character that people would love to share because they believe that the whole Harry Potter is real quotient then comes into play, which is a very smart marketing move. If you understand content creation, you need to understand that there is something known as a clickbait, and a clickbait can either be a thumbnail, a title, or the video itself. In this case, the video itself was clickbait. Hence, it was picked up by numerous news organizations, it was put up by articles, it was picked up by international communities. Hell, we are even talking about it on this channel right here, which is supposed to focus entirely on credible things, and we're supposed to talk about stuff that actually holds some accord. And there was a personal exchange with me and one of our subscribers. I believe that it is up to me to make sure that I give you guys the right information. So AB Compass, this is for you, my friend. The point is today that we are in a scenario wherein there is more disinformation out there. You need to understand this. And even though we're closer to disclosure today than we ever were before, if you don't understand that you have certain boundaries in place, there are certain thresholds in place that will always try to deviate you from the truth, that will always take your interests and pander to them so that you leave what is actually the right path that you're going on and start deviating away from it and end up running into a dead end and then lose all of your patience and forget about the topic itself. It is these disinformation boundaries, it is these thresholds that you need to make sure that you cross. There is a lot of evidence out there, but there is even more evidence that is tainted, so-called fake evidence that is just used by people to disinform the communities, to disinform the regular people, to disinform the regular Joe. Look, disinformation in 2021 is closer to us than we can contemplate. Some experts have even said that by the end of the year, there will be substantial evidence that will be put out there for the regular people to consume and understand that yes, we are not alone indeed. But until that moment happens, keep yourself educated about what is real and what isn't. Don't fall for trickery. Disclosure is close, people, and until then, I'll see you soon.